Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to talk about remote control infrared extenders, IR extenders. So if you have a look here, we have the TV on the top here, and we've got various different equipment hidden away in that cupboard. Yet we can still use our remote control even with the doors closed. Now beforehand, before the remote control extender was installed, the doors had to be opened here because the equipment needs to see the signal from the remote control. Well, that's not the case anymore, and you don't have to have your equipment even in the same room as the TV. All you need to have is the remote control receiver by the TV, and then the box of tricks that I'll show you in a minute will do all the work of getting the signals from your equipment. So let me show you inside the cupboard, and then hopefully it will make more sense. So here we have the box of tricks in the corner here, and if you have a look, we have 3 connections at the moment, but it is possible to have 4 on this particular model. So what we have on the right hand side is the power supply in. Now it takes a 5 volt and it's a mini USB, so nice and straightforward. And then on the left hand side here we have the input. Now it's hard to see, but if I just angle the camera like that, hopefully you can just make out it says IR in and then IR out, and there's 2 holes for the out. So the input is basically this little receiver here. So this is going to pick up the signal from the remote controls, doesn't matter which one you're using, and then it's going to go into it here, and then it's going to come out here, and can you see we've got a little IR blaster here, and we've got the option to have 2. So we've got another one here. This is what it looks like when they're not used. So we can now put this to a different part of the house, or in this instance here it might be useful to put to a different shelf. So you can see we have some equipment here, but we have another shelf down here. So what we could do is we could have another load of equipment down here, and we could just run another one out of the output, run it down and run it to this bottom shelf. Now when it comes to the emitters and also the receivers, we are limited by the cable length. But what you can do is you can buy extension cables. So if you look closely here in this particular model, this one here is using a 2.5mm mono jack. So you can just buy a cheap extension cable from eBay. So for example, get yourself a 10-meter one, and then you're going to allow you to pretty much route that to a lot of places in the house. Now what I did is, if you already have, for example, network cabling, in my house I've got everything hidden away under the stairs, and then I just used Cat5 cabling onto here. So I crimped an RJ45 plug, put it through the network, and it works absolutely fine. Depending on your setup, you may have an issue with the signal. Personally, I didn't, but it's just an idea if you want to have your equipment a long way away from the TV. So as you can see in this instance here, it's all been nicely tucked away, but the wires are nice and small, so it's quite easy to hide. So what happens is, it's really easy. When you press your remote control, it just goes from there into here, via here, and this then blasts it out so everything on this shelf can see it really easily. Some of the other models, the cheaper models or the older models, will have little wires that you run down, and then you need to find out what part of your device picks up the infrared signal and you need to stick it to it. Now they're a little bit of a pain because it can look a little bit messy because you've got additional wires coming down to the front of your equipment. But with this one here, you can see how neat it looks. So if you were doing this in someone's house and they didn't want any wires showing, it would be a good solution, because this just blasts that signal. It basically repeats it and blasts it out, so the equipment, so it's bouncing all around in here and the equipment can pick it up. Now some newer equipment, for example in the UK with a Virgin Media set-top box, the newer ones, the remote controls actually work on Bluetooth as well. So if it's Bluetooth, then of course you don't have to get involved in this, but so much equipment still uses IR, and it's a nice simple solution. Now I'm just going to get my brother just to press the remote control, and if you have a look closely you will actually see the red light. So whenever it picks up an infrared signal, there you go, can you see now? It's flashing. So what it will allow is, it will allow us to connect up and use this DVD player and also this BT UView box with the doors shut. So let me show you that. So there we have the receiver at the bottom of the TV. So all we have to do is make sure the remote control you're using is pointing roughly in that direction, just like you would do if all your equipment was up on the top. So if you have a look now, this one here is the DVD. So cupboard doors are closed, and I can press play. I can press pause, and it's instant as well. There's no delay. It works exactly the same as if that equipment was out on top. So now let's go to the UView box. So we're going to change the input on the TV to HDMI 1. And you can see now, again, I'm changing the channels here. So it's a really nice way off being able to have your TV there, but your AV equipment in a different part of the room. As well, it might be nice if you wanted your TV, for example, on top of the fireplace, and you wanted all your AV equipment hidden away in one of the cupboards either side, or even behind you. It doesn't make a difference. As long as that receiver, that's the bit there, as long as the receiver is by your TV, then that's where you're going to point your remote control towards. Now, obviously, you don't have to point your remote control towards a TV. You can put that receiver anywhere. You can put it down by your foot if you want, and then you can point your remote control down there. So I think that's nice, and I think that's a nice, clean, tidy job. So I think my brother's done a good job there. I think anybody would be happy with that. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care. Bye now.